I'm going to talk today about what I think is probably the best AI content writer currently for Windows, and you can also run it on a Mac with various hoops, but I use Windows anyway. It's called ZimmWriter. You've probably not heard of it, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is it's cheap, which means most affiliates don't get very much money. It's only $10 a month. The other is that basically you need to have an OpenAI code account, and you pay OpenAI for the words generated. And I'll show you why it's really good in a minute. There's lots and lots of things it can do. That's the actual screen. It doesn't look like very much, but there's all sorts of different options. And the one I've been using most is the bulk blog writer. So I'll show you how that works, and you get an idea of everything else. Here's one I did earlier, because it takes about 7-8 minutes to generate. But basically, you put in a list of your titles in that box, and you can go up to quite a lot. I've done, it says 1,000, I've done up to 20. Other people have done up to about 100. Basically, choose the number of H2s you're going to have. I've left the default of 5. H2 section length, tiny, short, medium or long. Mine's set to medium. The voice, basically I quite like it to be you and yours rather than me or I or whatever else. So that's what I set it to, but you can change it to each of those. Then there's various tick box options, literary devices, basically metaphors, similes and things like that. Lists, do you want those? Yes. Tables I don't enable because I don't use Gutenberg Press in WordPress. Basically it puts all the codes in for that, but not for Classic Editor, which I'm still old-fashioned enough to use. Do you want FAQs? I include yes, and that's basically you get 5 of those. Teas I don't include. It's basically a brief line saying what's coming up next, a bit like they do before the adverts. Enable H3s, I don't tend to do that. Audience personality I've not used yet, but you can choose from all those different things, and it says go to Google to find out what they all mean. I've not done that. Writing the style of. Now, auto style basically chooses the one that's most appropriate to your title. Automatic keywords. Basically, it weaves keywords in. Boost chance of detection is real. It will basically not be the standard rubbish that a lot of AI generates. It is actually quite good. I'll show you that in a minute. Progress indicator just because. And then you choose the model. I use Turbo because it's cheap. DaVinci is ChatGPT 3.5 as well, but it's about 10 times the option. I've not got approval yet for GPT form. And then basically just start bulk writer. And as I said, here's one I did earlier because it takes about 7 or 8 minutes to generate one. Puts the output in a text file, and some of the first bits are just for your information. So it says 2,000 words, just under 3 cents, which is pretty cheap. And if you've ever looked at any of the other AI text writers where they charge you per whatever, you'll know that that is ridiculously cheap, because that means you can write 100 articles for about $3. How good was the OpenAI server? Tells you that. Settings, just in case you needed to go back. If you use Midjourney or any other image creator, I'm using a different one. You've got the create an image of someone holding a glass filled with vibrant green juice, surrounded by an array of fresh fruits and vegetables. The person looks healthy and energized with a bright smile on their face. So I'll show you what that actually looks like in a second. Then you've got WordPress meta description, and then starts with the title. The hash there is, if you import it into the Gutenberg WordPress, that will translate to an H1. Double hash, we'll show in a bit later, is an H2, and there's an H3 as well. So you're thinking about incorporating juicing into your daily routine, because this was the article I wrote, what happens when you juice every day. Juicing has become a popular health trend in recent years, with many people claiming it can offer numerous benefits for your overall well-being. But what exactly happens when you juice every day? First and foremost, juicing allows you to consume a higher amount of nutrients than you would by being able to through eating whole fruits and vegetables alone. By extracting the juice from produce, you're able to easily consume large quantities of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants in one go. This increased nutrient intake can lead to improved energy levels, better digestion, and it goes on like that. That's just the introduction. As you can see, the tone is good. you can put this up. You'd need to do a little bit of editing. Sometimes it varies. Sometimes it puts conclusion in one of the paragraphs, one of the sections or whatever. Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't. Frequently asked questions, I get rid of the bit that says that, but that's just me. Uses a lot more exclamation marks. That's possibly the voice I'm using or the style or whatever. I need to work on that because I just get rid of some of them. For me it's too many, but for you it might be fine. And then it goes down to basically a conclusion. So that's it. That's what it generates, and that took about 7, maybe 8 minutes to generate. Those are the images that Dream Studios use to create. Midjourney would be very similar. I just prefer Dream Studios interface. It's not as clunky. It doesn't force me to go through all sorts of hoops. So you could use one of those to illustrate your blog quite happily. Or you can go to somewhere like Pixabay and choose something as well. So Pixabay is the other place I go to get my images, and those are perfectly free. You can just choose one and download it. As it says, no attribution required. So basically that's how ZimmWriter works. It's a monthly subscription of $10. Then you spend however much on ChatGPT and that's completely on demand. It hooks in, it links in and does everything else. And as I said, it works out around about, for me, roughly 3 cents an article. So if you did 100 a day, which is a lot, but you can do it. Other people are. I've not. As I said, I do about 20. If you did 100, you're looking at $3 a day for article creation, which is half the price of paying for a 500-word article on one of the article writing sites at the lowest level of that. And I think it's above. Personally, I think you've seen it writing just now. I personally think it's above the lowest level of the article writing sites, considerably above personal view. And you can tweak it, edit it as you need anyway. So if you like it, there's a link below this video. Click that, sign up, try it yourself. It's $10 plus a few cents on OpenAI, and I think well worth it.